Hi, patrons.
Hey, patrons.
Gotta go fast. We have a limited time window.
We are Sonic the Hedgehog today.
Quicksilver and the Flash.
All of it. We are all the fast things from fictional media.
Yes. Let's hope you understand any amount of it that happens. God, those giant hair attached to my eye. Get off my eye, bro.
Well, if you shaved your eyelashes like is the current
Is the
masculine
trend.
trend,
Yeah.
wouldn't be a problem.
I need to
Just
get more in the
saying.
zeitgeist.
Dude, you just got to catch up with what's current in terms of masculine things.
Hank Green had such a good discussion on his YouTube channel about morality. And one of them, he was like, for some reason, some kinds of nipples are okay in public and other kinds of nipples are not okay in public, and we just kind of accept that as being a thing. And I don't think anyone stopped to really ask why is that a thing. um, it's like I love this point. I've been trying to make
That's
that
pretty
point
fun.
not as articulately for a very long time.
Yeah, that's kind
Mostly
of
my
fun.
point is I don't think that nudity should be considered lewd in any capacity, and that people should be able to like not wear clothes if they don't want to, because it's a human body, who fucking cares.
Right. I just had that conversation on Friday. I did a consult, and the person was like, "How do you feel about, kids like, when they start kind of like manipulating their genitals, like allowing them to go into a private space and just have at it?" And I'm like, "I think it's great.
Yeah,
Like, let them do it." Like,
yeah.
yeah, I was like, it's not sexual. It's like exploratory. It's better for them to discover like how they can create sensations in their own body as opposed to relying on somebody else to do that.
Yeah.
So you know. So
Yeah,
maybe allow them to do that.
it's happening one way or another. It can happen in a public space where it's dangerous and gets other people in trouble, or you can teach them to do it in a way that's safer.
Right.
All right. I think I'm good to go. Double check my levels really quick. Test, test,
Yeah, let's
test, test, test,
party.
test, test. Okay. All right. Ready?
I'm ready when you are.
Cool. Three, two, one, go. Welcome to Why We Do What We Do Mini. I'm your host, Abraham.
And I'm Shane.
We are a psychology podcast. We talk
We
about all of
certainly
the
are.
things that humans and non-human animals do, and sometimes we talk about the things that they play with. And So thank you if you found your way here. If you are joining us for the first time, thanks. I hope you enjoy what you hear today. And if you'd like to support us, you can do that by liking and subscribing, leaving us a rating and a review. Joining us on Patreon, picking up some merch, telling a friend, and I'll talk a little bit more about that at the end of this discussion if I remember to do so. But if you're a returning person, then thank you. We're really happy to have you back. I hope that you continue to enjoy the kind of stuff that we're producing, or maybe you're hate listening, and that's okay too, I guess. Um, I hope you don't
Hey,
hate
numbers
it,
is
but
numbers is all I'm saying.
ooh, what a CEO way of thinking about things.
Listen, it's
Um,
the state of the world right now.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. So anyway, this is a short episode. We call them minis. These come out on Mondays, and they're just a quick dive on a topic. And today's topic, let me set the scene for it. I have a little bit of an introduction here. Is that okay?
Let's do it.
All right. So if you attend any kind of professional or promotional event, there is a good chance you're walking out of that event with a free foamy gift that is intended for you to squeeze when life gets you down.
So, yes, we are talking about because we've all been in those spaces. We've all left with those tchotchkes and goodies and freebies that we get from these conferences. And we are going to talk about stress balls. And really, it's fun to think about because they're great promotional tools. Or let me not say great; they are promotional tools.
Yeah,
But
they
we have to ask
exist.
the question of like, do they work? They might work, maybe, but let's unpack that a little bit because I feel like we spend a lot of money on stress balls.
Yeah, like what's the point of stress? Well, obviously we know what the point is, but like where do they come from? Do they do the job their name suggests that they do, which is either to cause or to eliminate stress? It suggests eliminate stress. I don't know why anyone would be selling a tool to cause stress. Like we've
Sure.
got that in abundance without having for free.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah. We don't need anti-stress balls.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So, what are stress balls? In case you didn't know, or just to make sure that we have defined our terms as is important for scientists to do. A stress ball is a toy-like pliable object, usually small enough to fit into an average-sized hand. And it's pliable. The fact that it's pliable, that feature of it, means that its shape can be significantly distorted, or at least somewhat distorted, and it will then return to its original shape, usually pretty quickly and without any need for the user to like do that reparation. And you don't have to do anything. It'll just go back to its original shape. And as we suggested, and as I'm sure that most of you know, the intention of this object is that you can squeeze it, and that in doing so, this will relieve stress and possibly muscle tension and maybe even reduce pain. So that's the idea here.
Yeah, so according to one very apocryphal sounding story, a then 30-year-old man named Alex Carswell threw a pen out of threw a pen. Okay, beep.
Oh,
Uh, okay, I got it
I
now.
I was
Yeah,
like
I was like,
falling
wait a
asleep as
second.
I wrote this. I was like multiple times my head like hit the computer.
Yeah, yeah. I was like, wait a second. All right. Uh, beep. So, according to one very apocryphal sounding story, a then 30-year-old man named Alex Carswell threw a pen out of frustration and broke the glass in a framed picture of his mother, of a picture of his mother. Somehow, this gave him the idea for the stress ball to help manage stress. And in 1988, he patented the first stress ball. It was a small blue polyurethane ball that emitted the sound effect of broken glass when thrown. That's interesting.
Yeah, so a little different than what they turned into.
Uh
And
huh.
that's as much history as I care to go into for that patent. Now, others suggest that a version of stress balls can be traced, of course, back to ancient China, where all things originated, where people might rotate 2 to 3 small metallic balls in their hand called Baoding balls. I've also heard these called Benoit balls. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I do. I do.
Yeah.
And typically you kind of like move them in circles often. Like if you're
Yes.
holding them both in your hand, you move them in circles.
Yeah, kind of the pressure against one pushes the other, so they sort of become this. They rotate together, almost like David Bowie in the Labyrinth. He's doing that thing with the glass balls, although those are
Yeah.
much larger.
Yeah. And also we're really focusing on the glass ball in the labyrinth. Let's be real. Now, for those things we call stress balls today, they're typically designed to fit into the palm of your hand such that your fingers can wrap around it and squeeze it inward, presumably to alleviate stress. My favorite thing that I learned more recently is my wife started working at like a funeral director place,
Oh
and
wow,
she's like she's doing schoolwork towards that, and they have coffin shaped ones as marketing
oh
tools for like for that world.
wow.
Uh-huh.
All right, very nice.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just had to link real quick. Go back to where we're at. So you just did that second, this
Yeah, I did
before
the
the
part
things we
where it
might
ends
call.
with alleviate. Yeah, and then and we're at but does this work?
Okay, cool. Thanks. All right. Boop. Okay, but as we said, like the question we're actually trying to ask here today is do stress balls work? Does this thing that you're doing actually alleviate stress, pain, or any of those things? Fortunately, there is kind of a surprising amount of research on this. I wasn't expecting to find as much as I did, but I found a wealth of information on this, and I also found a wealth of ads.
Oh man, nice. I was gonna say, does it work? Well, we know that ads don't relieve stress.
Oh, yeah, yeah, there you go.
That works too. I love it.
All right, I'll just take us into the next bullet point.
All right. Beep. So let's talk a little bit about the research on this idea of using stress balls and whether they work. So a 2015 thesis set out to measure physiological indicators of stress, heart rate, galvanic stress, a skin response, and blood pressure during testing with 30 college students. Surprise! One group of students was instructed to manipulate a stress ball after a test. The other group was asked to sit quietly. The results showed now significant differences
No,
in
sorry.
physiological. I'm sorry.
Sorry, falling asleep
Okay.
again.
No, you're good. All right. Beep. The results showed no significant differences in physiological stress responses across both the groups.
Okay, so this one I think we can rule out as a no. A
Uh-huh.
2020 study with 45 patients undergoing hemodialysis also measured physiological stress responses, but they added in another thing, which was a subjective self-report measure of their stress. And similar to the last study, while there was no difference in the physiological markers of stress or reports of comfort, there was a statistically significant improvement in the subjective rating of stress by the participants.
Interesting. Now, a 2021 study again used college students in testing, but this time only collected subjective self report on a closed ended assessment tool developed by the researchers and thus not validated, which is a different question. Now, closed ended means that the participants had to select from available answers and they could not provide their own. The results indicated significantly lower stress as reported by the participants in the questionnaire. Now, the concern here is that the tool that was used was not validated, which means that
Yeah.
it could have easily biased towards people reporting lower stress because there was just no flexibility in the tool, or there's no way to know that the tool was measuring what it was supposed to measure.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, we don't know if it's measuring what it's intended to. We don't know if there's bias. It does not give an opportunity to like allow the participants to respond and however they like, and then do analysis of those responses. So very difficult to interpret that and feel like we've walked away with meaningful data. But nevertheless, that was a study that happened and made
Right.
its way to some publication outlet. A 2022 study, again with hemodialysis patients. So this one, I do like these ones that are in real world settings. I think it helps to like actually consider what the reality of this in actual practice.
Right.
So with these hemodialysis patients, this study similarly found that their subjective reports of their experience of pain were significantly lower for the experimental group, the ones with the stress balls, compared to the control group, the ones without the stress balls. So this one seems to be some success for use of stress balls as what they call a non-pharmaceutical intervention.
Interesting. All right. Finally, a 2024 randomized controlled trial examined the use of a stress ball for 60 out of 120 patients undergoing coronary angiography,
I think it's
angiography,
angiography. Maybe it
angiography
is
is fine.
angiography. I don't know.
It's a lot of letters. It's a lot of vowels in a word. Now, this was done in Turkey. The experimental patients afterward reported significantly lower stress, but even lower pain as compared to the control group.
Now, we should ask the question here if we're trying to understand and do some good analysis of what we could learn from these studies, we want to know like we should be thinking about skeptically what contributes to a participant's subjective rating on a scale of this nature, because it's difficult to blind a procedure in which you clearly have something or you don't, and the
Right.
nebulous nature of a stress ball means that a lot of things could function as a stress squeeze object of some sort, and it'd be like if we gave them a piece of wood to squeeze, is that different enough from a stress ball that to say that we've ruled out the relevant features of the stress ball? Possibly not, because some stress balls can be very firm. It might be the fact that they're just flexing their hand. They weren't asking those questions. So it is possible, if not likely, that the participants knew about and attempted to record their responses in correspondence with what they thought the researchers wanted them to do or wanted them to say. And also, like, stress balls are very common. Like, they're just out there in the zeitgeist.
Hmm.
Participants very likely had some predisposed thoughts and opinions and expectations about what kind of benefit the stress ball was likely to provide. So it seems like it's really difficult to rule out that their understanding of the situation as a contributing factor that could have pushed the rating just into the like statistically significant realm of outcomes.
Right. And so and at the end of the day too, when we look at the research itself, researchers did measure objective when they did use those measures, there was no difference between people who had the stress ball and those who didn't. And what they kind of found was that some people like it and it's unlikely to be harmful, right? It's not really going to cause more problems. It might at most be a waste of time. But even then it's probably not bad. I guess it'd be problematic for people with arthritis. Probably wouldn't be really great.
That's true.
But like at the end of the day, like for the most part, it's a pretty benign intervention at best.
Yeah, yeah. And I think I wouldn't want someone who's like in serious pain to try and do this as opposed to receive actual pain medication. But if they wanted to supplement their treatment with this, if they felt like from their own experience they were feeling less stressed, then sure, like go for
Yeah.
it. That's totally fine.
Yeah, I
And
could see this being used in like strength training too, for like maybe like
sure.
physical therapy or recovery and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But that would, there's probably maybe better options for that, I would imagine.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, just considering some other questions that might arise in terms of what are the relevant features of a stress ball? Like, is it the exercise part? I didn't see any research directly comparing this to just any other form of exercise or squeezing anything else. Like, is it manipulating things with your hands that could be a relevant feature? I don't know. Like, that seems like it could be part of what's going on here.
Right. Could it be a distraction or some type of supplemental stimulation, like kind of like fidgets when you hear about those and why
Yeah.
people use fidgets and kind of like manipulate objects? Like it's just a kind of a unique one of those.
Yeah, like maybe fidgets and stress balls are exactly the same in terms of their effect because it's just giving you something to do. And
Right.
similarly, like is it the fact that it's fun? Like you have something that is more appealing and appetitive in that situation. And also like it could be a combination of any or all of those things that are the reason
Right.
that this works. Now, the fact that the stress ball can check all those boxes might mean this is a good non-pharmaceutical tool to use in these spaces, but the research is just mixed. Like we found in some of these studies, people did report less pain or less stress or less anxiety, and some they didn't. And so it's really unclear the extent to which these are effective, but it does seem like if you want to and you think it's going to help and you're not excluding other effective treatments, then squeeze yourself out. Wait, that didn't
Right.
come out right. Knock yourself out by squeezing a stress ball. We need
Sure.
to wrap this up, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. We're going to talk our way out of that one.
All right. I hope that you enjoyed what you heard today. And as I said, if you'd like to support us, join us over on Patreon. There's a bunch of ad-free stuff, early episodes, and behind the scenes content, and I'll read your name on our full-length episodes. Also, as I said, you can join us or you can support us by leaving us a rating and review, liking, subscribing, telling a friend. If you'd like to tell us your experience with stress balls, you can email us directly at info@wwd.podcast.com or reach us on the social media platforms, Blue Sky and Facebook and Instagram. And I think if you I'm missing something. Oh, thank you so much to our patron supporters. Thank you for listening. Thank you to my team of people without whom I could not make this show. Is there anything that I missed or anything you'd like to add before we escape my verbal blunder of this episode?
I think we're good.
Okay. All right, then this is Abraham.
And this is Shane.
Why We Do What We Do Mini is out.
Bye.
All right, and this recording